Today on the Topping Show, Donald Trump reacts to Matt Gaetz withdrawing consideration for general attorney. The View claims that there are only 100 people who identify as trans competing in public school sports. A leftist hairy man address goes viral for bragging about using a women's restroom. McDonald's may extend their $5 menu. Volkswagen of America CEO is ousted with a Porsche executive coming in to save the day. And, well, Jaguars looks like a toaster with their new advertisement. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Ease me, you see that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more. Yes, you can in fact mount it to a standard Picatinny rail on an AR-15 thanks to an adapter, like all awesome accessories can be. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have McDonald's may extend their $5 value menu. Now, this comes with thanks to the New York Post, specifically Taylor, who's a writer over there, where they say, quote, McDonald's to make menu affordable again with $5 menu deal extension, buy one, get one options. Now, spoiler alert, the franchisees still need to vote on this. Granted, by the time this video is rendered uploaded, maybe they hopefully all voted yes for the consumer. We'll see. Now, here you can scroll down New York Minute here. You see the New York Post article. There you see a picture of McDonald's hamburger and french fries that looks so comically unrealistic. It looks like a movie set. It looks like the commercials where I love the juxtaposition where you have people who buy the product versus actual marketing materials. And yeah, there's no greater stark contrast than that when it comes to industries and fast food. Because, yeah, obviously it does not look that good in real life. Now, again, it's worthy to note McDonald's didn't officially respond to this article. Now, they do say that, quote, McDonald's plans to bolster its widely successful menu deal with adding a McValue initiative in a bid to lure cost-conscientious customers and restore its reputation after a deadly E. coli outbreak, which, yeah, they're putting about $100 million behind marketing and trying to buy customers back. That's also a temporary marketing initiative. About 60% of that is going to the franchisees who actually own the stores, and the other half is going to marketing initiatives. This very well might be one of them. Now, they say, quote, the world's largest fast food chain will extend its $5 menu, which rolled out summer, was supposed to only go for 4 weeks. Now, supposedly, will go for the first half of 2025 and launch a buy one, get one option, according to CNBC. The new McValue offering will allow customers to tack on an extra item with any purchase for an additional $1, including a double McCheeseburger, McChicken sandwich, 6-piece nuggets, and small fry, or breakfast menu items, including a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, or sausage burrito and hash brown. This according to sources telling the outlet. McDonald's did not respond to post requests again. The chain has been offering deals in select locations like 10-piece McNuggets for $1 and looks to attract customers who, again, they're flocking to like competition. Now, just note that, again, restaurant operators, again, franchisee owners, are still voting on 2025 initiatives, but it looks like the most likely pass. They know that the $5 meal, which includes a McChicken or McDouble, a four-piece chicken McNuggets, small French fries, and a small drink, had helped offset sluggish sales overall. Because again, it's almost comical. We've seen some McDonald's receipts in 2024 where it was like $30, $40 to go to McDonald's, which is, I mean, shoot, go to the 90s, you can buy the whole store for that much. I'm only partially just exaggerating just a bit there. Now, they say that, but its efforts to boost visits and store sales were swept off course last month because of the E. coli outbreak, which is linked to slivered onions and on his quarter powdered cheese, where unfortunately one person actually passed away and sickened more than 100 people. So they're trying to get those customers back in as soon as possible. Chris Kaminsky, who's the CEO, says, quote, you need at the foundation to have a strong value proposition. That's been a focus for us in a number of markets, either strengthening, adding to, adjusting our value program so we have that good foundation. Which, yeah, that's very true. By the end of the day, I mean, when people look at McDonald's, they want cheap, fast, technically food. Some might argue it's a derivative of food these days, but yeah, when it comes to McDonald's, past couple years, the whole value prop of what was McDonald's kind of thrown out the window, or is this the fast food? Is there a special term for the fast food window? The fast food window, something like that. You know what I'm talking about. I partially digress, but Yeah, I'll be interested to see how long could they afford to do this. Because again, they said they got $100 million initiative because that E. coli thing. They're going to throw $100 million at it, try to buy customers back. So again, this is not long-term viable. I don't think, especially depending on what market you're in. So especially if it's like California, where they voted for $20 per hour minimum wage there for fast food workers, which then resulted in about 10,000 jobs being eliminated. But you get what you vote for. And yeah, I don't see how this could be long-term viable. Short-term, yes, they're going to ramp up their sales. At the end of the day, I want what is the conversion between fast food franchises? Like when someone goes to shop at McDonald's, if they do that for a number of times, are they a quote unquote sticky customer where they're very low, they're likely to not move weight even if the cost goes up? Or would they just go to one of the competitors like Wendy's or Burger King? I'm pretty skeptical, especially because they're so price conscientious when you look at, trying to get cheap fast food. So again, for value customers, this is great news. Because again, I mean, sure, they're probably losing money on it. Last time, when they kicked off the initiative, they said Coca-Cola was helping them. So giving the materials to them at cost, if not losing money for the marketing initiative. So good news for the consumer, but long term, I'm still pretty skeptical. And then for you, is this enough to get you to go back at McDonald's to get some of their food items? And do you think you'd actually get your friends to go, be interested to go back there again? Let me know your thoughts are, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have Volkswagen of America CEO is ousted with Porsche to come to the rescue. Well, specifically a Porsche executive, which again is all part of the big VW portfolio, where unfortunately Volkswagen is so bad at marketing and manufacturing cars in terms of the Volkswagen brand. These days, very few people actually own them. Don't get me wrong, I love a Golf turbo, I love a GTI with a turbo and stick shift, but that's pretty rare to see on the road these days, unfortunately. And yeah, the CFO of Volkswagen famously said they think they have 2 years before the brand is no longer viable. But again, the Volkswagen portfolio does have also things like Lamborghini, Porsche, Ducati, Bugatti. They got a lot of cool stuff over there. But yeah, the VW specific brand, it's in a little trouble. Now this comes to us thanks to Nico, who's a writer at The Drive, who says, quote, VW of America ousts CEO after just 2 years. Now Porsche executive is in charge. A sales slump in the U.S. and EV projections haven't borne out exactly. Left departed CEO Pablo Desi in a tough spot. Oh. Here you can see, disgusting. One of those VW EV buses that they're going to be making, which, yeah, talk about, I don't know who the hell's going to buy that. Well, 15 people in San Francisco. But yeah, I can't think it'll be like the Acura NXX, the new one. The old one was best. It was analog with a stick shift option and, pure gas engine. But I mean, in this case, there's so much hype. And with the NSX, why it partially failed in sort of the perspective of the US, the new one, well, there's so much hype for decades. By the time we get out, people are already buying they already bought the competing supercar. There wasn't as much appetite. For this, there's been speculation of a VW minivan or a bus or what they call abomination this EV is for decades. And they're so late to the game. They also don't have really good research and development for EVs, which I think is a waste of money because, again, you lose money for so long and consumers are pushing back on it. They actually just invested $5 billion in Rivian, a competitor, so they got a little partnership going there. So it might just be a rebadged, bastardized Rivian that they slap a logo on. That's pretty common, actually, badge sharing in the auto industry. Now, dive into the article, and again, this is Kyle Gruner. He's the gentleman who's going to be taking over, suited up as all men should be. Now they say, well, it's been a tough year for Volkswagen Group. Globally, it's shutting down plants, losing market share, axing car models, and tossing out a CEO. Volkswagen of America just announced that its CEO, Pablo Desi, is out effective immediately after just 2 years at the post. Repeating him is Kiji Gruner, who, apologize, I'm not purposely butchering that if that's not the pronunciation of his name. He will officially become CEO of Volkswagen America on December 12th. In the interim, Garrett Springler, the current chief human officer, will assume the role until Gruner steps in next month. Gruner had spent 25 years in the industry at several different brands. It seems VW wants his expertise and both legacy and upstart automakers. He's held management positions at Porsche, Daimler Chrysler, and Mercedes, and even president and CEO of Porsche North America. As it happens, Gruner is returning to the Volkswagen Group from Rivian, where he is currently the chief commercial officer. Not only does this give Gruner experience with a new electrical startup, but also might help develop growing partnership between Volkswagen and Rivian, which, I mean, pretty sure a big part of that partnership is here's $5 billion. That's a pretty good way to kickstart it. So there's going to be a lot of tech sharing between the companies. Now, they say that Kyle Gruner is absolutely expert in the U.S. market, says Gruner Killian, a VW AG Group board member for human resources. He spent over 25 years in the auto industry and has extensive know-how in exploiting and expediting growth opportunities in North America. Volkswagen AG is indebted to his predecessor, Pablo Disi. His outstanding commitment was of central importance in realigning our business in South America. He subsequently laid the foundation for positive development in North America strategy. Did he, though? I mean, do you want to go buy Volkswagen right now? If he was doing, that's a nice politically correct way of terming like letting an employee go, or they laid the groundwork. Really, has he? I don't think so. Now, they note that just last week, Rivian and Volkswagen announced a joint venture to build a cutting-edge. Sorry, this isn't supposed to be a joke. They say they're going to make cutting-edge software and electronics architectures, which, again, you can debate if Rivian is really an industry leader. I still think Tesla's leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. Though, of course, I would only get some of the 3 pedals, also known as stick shift, so not my preference. Now, know that VW invested $5 billion in that project, which has begun with software but could eventually take on battery modules and other EV hardware. And you can see, is it Scout Motor? Yeah, you want to see that picture, Scout Motors EV. I also know that Volkswagen is in a confusing spot right now. It's hard to see the best way forward from the outside. While companies looking to shut down plants in Germany for the first time, not just 1 or 2, but 3, which, again, it's one of those things where I suspect that massive tariffs and intervention, China is going to take over the world with EVs. Because like electronics, they are very proficient at copy pasting, aka ripping off technologies and mass producing the hell out of them. Which, again, all these governments are forcing these companies to go down these EV paths where they're not competitive, and so I'm pretty skeptical. They know that this luxury arm Audi is suffering a sales dump. Well, yeah, because you killed the iconic R8, which used to come with a V10 and a stick shift, and a V8 option as well. Thank God there's some aftermarket conversion kits out there, some enthusiasts to make the car right, how it should have been from the factory for the later models, which are only automatic. But yeah, they say Audi is suffering a sales slump in the United States. It's about to launch. Oh, geez, Louise. Oh yeah, that's why they want that picture. They're about to launch an electric SUV known as the Scout, which, doesn't look appealing to me. Now, despite all that, VW's U.S. business saw a 7% increase year-over-year sales in Q3 2024. And even though Audi sales dropped, they dropped 17% in Q3 this year, the entire Volkswagen group is still up 1.5% from last year. Now, but thank you, Porsche. Granted, I'm not a fan of the mass-produced SUVs. That is a lot of the profit revenue. That's where it comes from. So, yeah, I still don't see how VW is going to make it, though. I mean, I've interviewed in my interview show, Topping Talks, I've interviewed a couple of folks. I've met 2 people, I think, in the past 2 years who've owned a specific Volkswagen car. And don't get me wrong, I see them on the road every once in a while. Granted, it's small anecdotal evidence, being DFW or Texas. But, I mean, when I think of, if I'm going to buy a new car, don't get me wrong, if I won the lottery, yeah, I'd buy it wouldn't be a Volkswagen, it'd be part of the Volkswagen portfolio, it would be a Porsche. I mean, that'd be awesome. They still make stick shift, like all cars should be by default, but yeah, I mean, the Volkswagen Jetta for decades, my dad had one, he liked it. It was pretty good. I mean, Volkswagen had a pretty good legacy of making affordable, economic, and used to be reliable cars. It really doesn't do any of those. So they really have to rely on the heritage of German engineering, which, I mean, at a certain price point, you just go into competitors. You got BMW, of course. But, I mean, what's a compelling business reason to buy a Volkswagen right now? Especially when they make less and less fun cars. I mean, they used to be known for fun cars, which, again, one of my friends has a stick shift. He loves that little Golf. He loves that little thing. Hot hatches are pretty cool. They can be a fun thing. He loves it. That's a small sample size. That's one friend. And yes, I do have more than one friend, so the sample size, I guess, isn't that small, technically speaking. But, like, I know 2 people who have VW vehicles. And again, what's the compelling reason to buy one right now? You know they're not as reliable. They're okay styling-wise, I suppose. But, yeah, I know it's going to cost a pretty penny to maintain. It's kind of bland styling, I'd argue, these days, unfortunately. I mean, I think that's the biggest issue. The issue is why. I mean, they used to be pretty cheap, or more affordable in competition. But, yeah, why buy Volkswagen right now? Now, again, I make the delineation, the Volkswagen Auto Group, the parent company, I mean, yeah, they make some awesome cars. They got Lamborghini, they got Porsche, they got Ducati motorcycles. They got some really cool stuff. But the VW specific brand, I think that's the big billion-dollar question. How do you save that company when you need a compelling reason to get it? It's not cheaper than competition. It's not easier to maintain the competition. it's not more fun to drive than the competition. They're in a tough spot. And I'm not sure how they're going to try to turn it around. They're saying, oh, yeah, this EV Scout will make some money, which, and again, there's a market for EV SUVs. True. I don't think it's a mass volume market, and I don't think it's, I'm pretty skeptical to see when they're going to make a profit on those, because EVs take a long time to actually make a profit. Tesla being one of the few successful companies to actually make EVs profitably. It took them many years. So, I mean, let me know in the comments, what's the compelling reason? I mean, if you had to buy a new car right now, for your specific use case, what would you buy? And more the odds are, why did you not think VW? I mean, I'm trying to think, when was the last time you would want, what, I don't even know if I would want one of these days. If I got one for free, perhaps, if it came with a maintenance plan, but let me know, do you think VW can turn things around? And do you know anyone who actually drives one? And again, I know the two friends I know who have them, they love it, but, well, one of them, it's actually funny that I say that, one was having reliability issues as we speak, but let me know your thoughts in the comments, because, as always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the cultural podcast, have The View claiming that only 100 people identify as trans competing in public school sports. It's not a big deal, they say. Which, yeah, about this. Now, this comes to us thanks to Riley Gaines on the X Twitter, and I do have to give a visual disclaimer. You're about to see The View and Whoopi Goldberg, so it's not a pretty sight, and that's coming from me. So brace yourselves. Perhaps one of the few times you might be glad you're listening on, the Spotify or the Apple Podcast. Or, interesting enough, I think Pandora's still around somehow. Now, this comes thanks to Riley Gaines, and Riley says, quote, Whoopi Goldberg says there's only 100 people who identify as trans competing in public school sports. This is, of course, verifiably false. I'd be happy to join The View and discuss, which I don't think they could have that. Having someone on The View who has a modicum of intelligence or articulation and enunciate, I don't think they could handle that. They might just melt down. Now, Twitter did add some user notes here. They say a report by the Human Rights Campaign, which, let's be honest, they're pretty biased, found that only 40% of transgender boys and 12% transgender girls play sports. Given those numbers, it's statistically possible that of the 35,000, that it hits a 100 number. Now there's a little disclaimer there. It's originally was posted thanks to Chief Nerd, and oh dang it, I made the image bigger. Now the whole screen, oh yeah, you can see Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah. Which thankfully it's only like 43 seconds of her speaking, which yes might feel like an eternity, but we shall get through it together.
I often wonder, because it's, when you look, transgender Americans, less than 1% of American adults identify as transgender.
Right. Yeah.
And when you add in youth who identify as transgender, that number comes to just about 1.4. It is estimated that there are no more than 100 transgender athletes competing in public schools nationwide, and an Associated Press investigation found that lawmakers proposing bans on trans athletes in school sports could not cite a single instance of these athletes taking championships.
Have they not heard of Riley Gaines? Did they not use the Google or the Brave search? Because yeah, that definitely happens, and it's definitely it's only 100 opportunities for us being stolen from people or being physically injured. Now, again, it went pretty viral. It got, what was this, 2.5 million views, as well as 65. Could we make it 66? No, but nevertheless, I did like it. So 65,000 likes. Now, one of the first comments comes from an account by the name of Courage is a Habit, which they say every American, every parent can do their part to dismantle the transgender cult by rejecting their lunatic inclusive language. We give an example. They say, quote, Zach, behold, is a man whose name is Zachary. We call him Zach. And they say, quote, this man is Sarah McBride, is a man who we call Timothy. Both mentally ill men make laws to further push the agenda for the transgender cult. The greatest medical fraud is destroying our children's bodies with any hope of a future. Continue to rob these mentally ill men of your empathy. It's all they have. Reject inclusion, embrace exclusion. And there you can see the guys grew out their hair, and now they compete in sports. Got 127 likes. I also have Trump Gal 24 saying Whoopi is a pathological liar and an idiot, getting 225 likes. Hunter Eagleman says, quote, Whoopi doing Whoopi things and gaslighting the 9 viewers, getting 420 likes, which I kind of joke, I can't but wonder, are more than 51% of all the people who watch The View just watching to laugh at them, not actually I was about to say get informed. I don't think anyone actually does that. Get properly informed by watching The View, but they do absorb, not facts, they absorb some kind of data. I can't think most people are watching it just as like a parody at this point. You have Commotion King saying, quote, part of my issue anyway is how it only takes one person to make an entire locker room uncomfortable. Even if she were correct, it doesn't mean we should fold that to them on this issue anyhow. Getting 530 likes. Jennifer McWilliams says, quote, she's an insufferable, uneducated, hateful woman. Hey, The View, 3.3% of high school students identify as trans per the CDC. If you want to be a credible source, start learning arithmetic. Getting 553 likes. Maybe they're rounding down like when they look on a scale. That might be a thing. Chief Nerd said, I would love to see this, getting 188 likes. Anti-woke memes did in fact respond in meme form. Said, dear Whoopi Goldberg, woke men doesn't belong in bathroom with women. And you have a juxtaposition of two pictures, a beautiful woman in a bikini, labeled woman. Then you have Dylan Mulvaney in a bikini, or no, what is that? One-piece female swimsuit? I don't know what it's called. And it's called Wokeman, getting 381 likes. Miss Haversham says, quote, let's say it's true. In Connecticut, there were just two boys running in a girls' track meet who caused 40 races to be hijacked as a result of those girls. Hundreds to be undermined, getting 106 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. Sorry, I don't see any contrarian statements thus far. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. Catherine Deves Morgan said Whoopi Goldberg is not a serious person, and it says, quote, is this Wikipedia? What is this? Yes, from Wikipedia. It says, quote, she stated that her stage name, Foreman Whoopi, was taken from Whoopi Cushion. When you're performing on stage, you never really have time to go to the bathroom and close the door. If you get a little gassy, you got to let it go. So some people used to say you're like a Whoopi Cushion. Huh. 29 likes for that. I remember someone bringing it up as her Hollywood name or stage name. We also have Dismal Piranha saying, why do 98.6% of Americans have to accept the demands of 1.4% of the population while having to democracy talk by the left, getting 2 likes? Lives of Blue Sky says, either way, even one is too many, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Ryan says, then they should be fine not to cheat and defraud actual women, right? Getting 42 likes. Nate Lipscomb says, delusion is real. Then you have AI picture of Trump smoking a cigar, getting 2 likes, which I mean, famously he doesn't drink or smoke, so a little silly in that regard. So, yeah, you have also Steve saying The View is propaganda, getting 6 likes, which, I don't know. There are some people who watch The View seriously. I just don't know how many there are. I can't help but think it's a minority at this point. But yeah, just more silliness by The View, and I guess, you know, some people still watch it for reasons. And, I mean, let me know, do you think, I mean, we've seen some schools just recently starting to reverse their policies and ban boys going to girls' locker rooms and competing in their sports. Do you think we'll see that trend continue in the U.S.? Let me know in the comments, because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have a leftist hairy man going viral for bragging about using a women's restroom, which, yeah, can't help but think how low the bar is in your life if that's a point of accomplishment or a point of pride. Like, of all the things you can be proud of in your life, that I can't help but think your life is extraordinarily sad if you consider that to be like a highlight. And even more bizarre, he put it on the internet for the whole world to see, which one could argue this is more visually or visually disgusting than The View, which that bar is already quite low in the mud. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, End Wokeness, and they say, quote, Democrats believe our daughters should be forced to share a bathroom with this. And, yeah, visual warning, this is quite horrifying. That's coming from me. And, yeah, it looks like a very, I don't know what you call this. Is it a sundress? The one where they have the dress where one of the hoop things is not on the shoulder. So you can see his very extraordinarily, unusually hairy shoulders and chest. He has a beard and hairy powdery glasses, which, those glasses don't really look good on anyone, really. Like disproportionately large circular lenses. And, yeah, he's wearing a dress, and he's in his car. I don't think it's a Jaguar, but it might soon be. And it's about a minute 21, but we'll get through it together. Also has, what is this, a maple leaf tattoo on his shoulder? What? Even more, it gets more and more bizarre without too much further ado.
So I just got home from work, and today, for the first time, I dressed fully feminine in public, in the broad light of day. It was to a luncheon at my work with the board of directors of the theater company I work for.
I'm surprised it wasn't a public school or hospital at this point.
Wore my lemon dress and my keffiyeh.
Wearing coffee? Keffiyeh? Was wearing a lemon dress, which I guess it does have pictures of lemons on it. I understand why it's called lemon dress. I understand that part.
Dress and my keffiyeh.
Yeah.
And you know, it in the grand scheme of things might seem like a small victory, but you gotta let yourself celebrate your small victories, because there's a lot of times when those big ones feel really few and far between.
There's a victory to it.
And right now, for me, every little victory I get is one more step that I have taken towards being fully myself, towards not hiding who I am any longer. And that feels like something to celebrate to me.
Was a tattoo of a dolphin on his arm? I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it 1,000,000 times. Men always look best when they suit up. This person decided to dress up, which, yeah, very interesting that it is celebrating this fact. And I guess in terms of environment, I'm not surprised it's a theater. And yeah, this didn't go pretty viral. I got about 250,000 views and 10,000 likes. And yeah, very interesting instead of, it says something cultural about modern society where this individual is not celebrating anything when it comes to like personal fitness goals or losing weight. Spoiler alert, and again, everyone could get in a little bit healthier shape, but not celebrating, getting smarter by, getting like reading a book, getting in shape, getting ahead at work, or having a professional career goal. He's celebrating wearing a dress, which, yeah. Now, this went pretty viral. One of the first comments comes from Based Electrician saying, quote, "Honestly, I would prefer if no one were forced to share a bathroom with this." That's a screenshot getting 131 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Republican Canadian girl, which A+ marketing, you know exactly what she's all about. Unfortunately, she's stuck behind enemy lines in the totalitarian state of Canada with Justin Trudeau taking away their gun rights and freedom of speech and more. Oh yeah, good. I'm already giving her a follow. She does have a American flag emoji and a MAGA and Canadian flag in her profile as well. Now she says, quote, "Ladies, if you see this in a bathroom, remember that God gave you hands, and sometimes those hands need to swing," getting 105 likes. Planet of Memes did not in fact respond in meme form. Said, quote, "We really need to have a tough talk about mental health in this country," getting 410 likes. Fact check true. Also Zupa says, quote, "Females should only be sharing restrooms with females. Everyone knows the reasons why. People argue against this, aren't caring about females," getting 218 likes. Anti-woke memes says, quote, "Why won't gender cults stop mocking women?" And I forget what movie or TV show or pop culture reference this is, but it's like you can see the edge, so the camera looks like it's Peeping Tom, and there's some gals in bathrobes in the washroom room says, when are we going to admit that this trans is a woman's bathroom? Sorry. When are we going to admit that a trans in a women's bathroom is just this? Which a handsome man actually did respond. I'm a little biased, but I'm going to read his comment. "He's me, hashtag the topping show on X," saying, quote, "One could argue that they are much worse. This pick is a scenario where the perv is conscious enough to know what they're doing is wrong, hence they hide. Men in women's bathrooms are unashamed." Fact check, true. Scrolling down more and more. We also have Lurkat Media TM said they're also threatening women and men over it, which was 10 seconds long, so we could take a look at this. Whoa, dear God. A gentleman grew out his hair and has earrings. And let's hear what he has to say.
"I am a woman, and I use the women's restroom. And I guarantee you, not one of you will stop me."
I was going to say, well, I don't think it's much of a threat. You have to have kind of think this person's lack of muscle mass, or, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about what they try to do. Getting 18 likes. So of course, I don't advocate violence of any kind. Going down more and more. Let's see, any contrarian statements here. Evil Texan says, "If I see that thing go inside a woman's bathroom, I'll be on the news," getting 609 likes. Florida One says, we voted this out. This clown needs to get, this clown show agenda is over. Says, no, seriously, this was your government. And yeah, it was, the Biden-Harris administration had some interesting characters in the White House. None of which were qualified, but they were colorful. Which, yeah, I forgot you had that cross-dresser, bald guy who would steal women's unmentionables from airports and put them on. And, of course, dress women's clothes everywhere. Also have, was it Rachel Levine, who grew out his hair, transitioned as the expert on health. They had Dylan Mulvaney invited to the White House. And, yeah, it was a fascinating time in American cultural history. And that got 78 likes. Anonymous Doge Monday says, my message to him, it's a screenshot of Elon with a meme, go F yourself, getting 61 likes. Mr. X says here, it says, make a sounds great again, getting 72 likes. Charles Weber says, quote, and maybe I'm mispronouncing this, I probably am, the Kahifi? Kafia? Let me know in the comments, how do you pronounce that? What's the vernacular pronunciation of that? It says, quote, the Kahifi has become a symbol of mental disorder and nothing to do with Palestinians. And that got 74 likes. It's a screenshot of him with the Kahifi. Ragged Old Flag says, take a look at yourself in the mirror, dude. You look ridiculous. Getting 81 likes. Let's see here. No contrarians. No one's sticking up for this guy. I was going to say, you go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I have a theory. When I first started the show, no subscribers and, well, perhaps family. And I stumbled over my words worse than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs. However, as I've slowly but surely gained more subscribers, I become more articulate and slow down my speech. Granted, the bar is pretty low, but technically better. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. And someday get to the goal of going through an entire episode perfectly articulately, and we'll see. So if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. What I was trying to say is the Degenerate One said, WTF? It's a gif of Jay Leno spitting out something he's drinking. Got 6 likes. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, and again, I wish harm on this individual. I hope he gets the help he needs, because clearly there's a disconnect. And yeah, I think a lot of people are scared just to say this individual needs help, when really I think in terms of what's the most effective methodology in terms of helping someone long term, I don't think it's to encourage that behavior. I think quite the antithesis, the opposite. I think it should be to sit them down and say, why you behave like, try to understand what they're going through, understanding this, try to get them back on the right path. And I think, let me know in the comments, do you think these types of things will decrease in frequency in the United States, culturally thinking, or do you think we're going to see an increase of it? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have Donald Trump reacting to Matt Gaetz withdrawing from consideration for the Attorney General. Now, this comes to us thanks to Colin Rugg. And he says, quote, breaking, Matt Gaetz withdraws himself from being Trump's Attorney General pick, saying his confirmation was becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump transition. Now, you have Donald Trump, his response, a couple of comments there, but we'll have Matt Gaetz' official comment first. Now, Matt Gaetz, and of course he's pictured left, which, as all good men, he did suit up, as always. And I don't know if you have a conspiracy theory. Do you think he has hair plugs or not? It looks unusually perfect for his age, but nevertheless. Matt Gaetz says, quote, I had excellent meetings with the senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There is no time to waste on needlessly protracted Washington scuffs. Thus, I'm withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place day one and ready. I remain fully committed to see Donald J. Trump as the most successful president in history. I will forever be honored that Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain he will save America. Now, this went pretty viral. Got 2.6 million views as well as 18,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Junita Broderick saying, quote, who will take his place as nominee? I just didn't expect this. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Colin Rugg said, not sure, but it is very important to note that Matt Gaetz will still likely be a Congress member. He resigned from the 118th Congress, but was elected to the next one, which is a good thing to clarify, because a lot of people, there's a lot of tweets and going out there, a lot of people speculating he's getting out of politics altogether. Does not sound like that. Now, you also have Matt Sarsaparilla saying, quote, this is frustrating. The radical left won, gained 1.3 thousand likes. Colin Rugg responded saying, quote, he's still in Congress and can be appointed to the Senate by Ron DeSantis, gained 1.6 thousand likes. Western Lensman said, quote, make the next pick terrify them more, gaining 977 likes. Now, Colin Rugg also posted Donald Trump's reaction. Donald Trump tweeted, saying, quote, I greatly appreciate the recent efforts of Matt Gaetz in seeking approval to be Attorney General. He's doing very well, but at the same time did not want to be a distraction for the administration, for which he has my much respect. Matt has a wonderful future, and I look forward to watching all the great things he will do! Exclamation point included. And also got 1.4 thousand likes. Wookie Mind Trixie, interestingly long name, says, quote, well, at least he's thinking about the good of a country instead of himself. Gotta respect that, getting 786 likes. Colorado also says, I'm sure there's more to it, getting 850. Whoa! Went up like an NVIDIA stock back in the day. It's up to 901 likes right before our eyes. Which, yeah, I mean, I'm a little pessimistic in terms of I don't think Matt Gaetz is 100% not being altruistic or doing it for selfless reasons. I think there's some variables we don't see yet. We also have John Marcus saying this isn't over. DJT rather will see something just as meaningful, getting 344 likes. The Appalachian podcast said, quote, well, it's already happening. There goes momentum, getting 82 likes, which I don't know about that. Franklin, the weird leftist, who, granted, I do follow as many people as possible so we don't get an echo chamber. I say weird because it's a biological man who was voting, or a big Harris fan supporter, and is a cartoon picture of a girl as his profile. I'm not sure why he has that. Now, Franklin says, quote, release the Gaetz party list. And then they have the, what is it? I forget the original, but it's gone viral. Is it from the Predator movie? But it's a painting where you have a giant white guy arm giving a handshake with a giant black guy arm, which I'm pretty sure is just from the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it says, who are at the Diddy parties, and one bicep is labeled Diddy, and the other is Matt Gaetz. Now, Franklin did say that, but Franklin got 0 likes and 0 responses. So, technically speaking, I'm infinitely more popular than Franklin because I got 1 like on one of my comments recently, which is infinitely more than 0, technically, mathematically speaking. But again, I follow him. It showed up on the timeline because I follow him. I don't want to get a little boring if you're in an echo chamber, so I'll try to follow as many people possible, diverse mindsets. Joanna Maga says, getting 0 likes as well. So, and then we'll do 1 or 2 more. So, we got 1 contrarian statement thus far. Hunter Engelman says he's a good man, and this is unfortunate, getting 220 likes. First Word says bringing AG Paxton from Texas, 237 likes. That'd be an interesting one. Pismo says, what the swamp has done to him is truly sickening, getting 277 likes, which a lot of them were bringing up allegations of sexual misconduct with the DOJ they leaked, but there's not enough evidence where it was never actually brought to trial. So again, he's never been convicted, but there are leaks and rumors. So that's why there's a lot of pushback from some people from Matt Gaetz because they're critiquing him in that regard. But again, the DOJ, there were investigations done, but there's anything substantive enough to actually go to a trial or even a settlement. So yeah, let's see here. I will be interested to see what the future holds for him. But yeah, I know there are a lot of people who are really gunning for him. I mean, personally, my small research I've done on Matt Gaetz throughout the years is I've seen him being very pro-gun, and I appreciate that perspective, and that he's done, got a lot of good, got a lot of good work for the Second Amendment, so I appreciate that. And I think he has some good points, but I suspect he'll probably be more effective in a different role. But let me know, do you think this is a big mistake for Donald Trump allowing him to drop out? Do you think, is Matt Gaetz doing it just purely altruistic or not selfish reasons? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Jaguar with more social media posts with their rebranding and being weird, and their Copy Nothing campaign is quite boring and kind of copy all the weird woke stuff we've seen before. Now, this comes to us thanks to Jaguar's ex-Twitter account, #Jaguar, saying, quote, December 2nd, 2024, Miami, copy nothing, which I don't think you have to worry about that. No, you're not going to have to sue anyone in small claims court because they stole your design. No one's going to do that. It also looks kind of bland. Now, looks like this is a quarter panel of the vehicle, maybe. The rear left. And it looks oddly reminiscent of what is it? I forget, an air conditioner condenser you see on the outside of a house. It looks terrible. Well, I mean, it looks like a slightly better graphics than Atari 2800 or 2600 rather. But it went pretty viral. Got 2.8 million views. That's a lot. And 6.7 thousand likes. And I'm sure all the comments are very supportive and excited to see this new vehicle, all EV from Jaguar. Haha, no, it's in the business blunder section of the show for a reason. They are getting viscerally trolled and mocked on social media because, well, yeah, you're rebranding your company, with weird non-binary people and barely showing the product. And also, let's be honest, you're not known for reliability to begin with. Going to EVs, I suspect, will be a big mistake. And people liked the big V8 Jaguars throughout the years and the craftsmanship they used to have. Now, scrolling down, and again, I'll expand down the screen so you can see even more of it. It's almost as if someone got the first copy of AutoCAD for the computer, and they tried to draw a car, but they merged it with a refrigeration unit or a vent in a house and added a little bit of color like it's the 1980s, which I want to say that it's the dark age of, I don't want to say it's the dark age of automotive empire, but yeah, that's when the EPA kneecapped a lot of companies, so they had barely any horsepower, and they all looked, yeah. Let's just say there's a reason there's not a lot of people collecting cars from the 80s. Now, again, this still got 6.7 thousand likes, so some people did like it, but let's go to the comment section. One of the first ones comes from Wizard Ronan, saying, quote, if I buy a Jaguar, can I use the women's washroom? Getting 3.4 thousand likes. Which, yeah. You also have, let's see here. And that's the very first comment. Dashiki JS said, I'm going to tell my kids this was a car ad. And so it's from the first video they had the day ago, where they have all the non-binary people sitting on what looks like a rock in the middle of Mars, wearing really weird outfits. Got 1.5 thousand likes, which, yeah, their first sneak peek at the rebranding showed no car at all. Not even like a hood ornament, nothing at all. But unusual people. Got 1.5 thousand likes. Let's see. Zeal? I think that's how I pronounce it. It says, quote, is this the back or the front? Is it even a car? Getting 3.3 thousand likes. Jaguar responded saying, stay tuned, you'll find out, getting 400 likes. Someone responded saying, train crashes into school bus. Intrigued? Stay tuned and find out, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Shelby Varney responded saying, it's an air conditioner, right? And in this case, they have a nice, they have an LG wall-mounted refrigeration unit, or air conditioning unit, rather. And yeah, the vents look oddly reminiscent of the picture that Jaguar posted. It got 40 likes. I suppose this could be considered a not bad comment. Loris Keisner says, the plot thickens with sunglass emoji. So we did find it. I'll be damned. This is the first positive comment we've seen covering this Jaguar rebranding. I mean, talk about needle and haystack. Wonder, they got 20 responses. Did people roast this person? Geoffrey Pusciano says, not really, the movie is over. Jaguar is dead, getting 8 likes. Let's see here. Starving says, what do you mean the plot thickens? This ain't Hunger Games, getting 7 likes. Man says, more like the, try to keep this moderately family friendly, more like the female companion, I'm trying to think of a nice way of saying this. The female companion assistant thickens, getting 7 likes. Cam Ryder says the marketing bozos expand. Luke Rakowski has a gif of a dolphin simply saying you're gagging, 225 likes. Let's see. American AF says Bud Light 2.0 incoming, getting 3.7 thousand likes. Reply by mail says copy nothing except marketing. There's a picture of Dylan Mulvaney wearing the famous Audrey Hepburn dress, hairstyle, and gloves, holding a Bud Light, but they added the Jaguar logo to the Bud Light. Got 2.6 thousand likes, which, yep. I also have the Lincoln Trader saying, I heard this is a new logo, and the old logo, which I thought was timeless. You actually showed the Jaguar, which I thought was good, and all the font and the letters are all capitalized or consistent. Now, the new one, they ripped off Samsung, or I don't even know if Samsung pioneered it, but instead of they have the Jaguar, so the J and the R is the same exact thing, just inverted. And they changed it so it said Jaguar. I got 3.2 thousand likes. Storm says same vibe. It's quite literally a picture of an air vent in a house. Again, I got 1.2 thousand likes. Expose them saying that's a nice looking portable air conditioner. And they literally have a picture of a Lennox air conditioning unit next to the picture of, I guess that would be the new Jaguar EV. Got 1.8 thousand likes. House King says finished it for you, and they copy pasted and inverted the post from Jaguar to make it look complete, which, yeah, it's so bad. And yeah, comments are asking, is this the front of the vehicle or the back of the vehicle? Yeah, it looks that got 8.3 thousand likes. Now this is controlling Lucid Motors, which, granted, I'm not a fan. They charge $79,000 to $250,000 for an electric sedan, but I partially digress. Lucid Motors, good marketing. They responded saying compromise nothing. They have a picture of their car, which, in comparison to the Jaguar picture, that might as well be the Mona Lisa in comparison. That looks a lot better. And that got 2.6 thousand likes. Let's see here. First response to the Lucid team was Shara Denial, saying, quote, Lucid, give your social media team a raise. This is the best trolling response I've seen in a while, which I'll give Lucid a like for that too. I mean, that's funny. That's a good one. Scrolling down more and more, you have, what's this? Ethan Driscoll said, stop this and do this instead. And so did AI, image generator, but it's the original, beautiful Jaguar E-Type. It says a beautiful animal Jaguar. It's a picture of that. The Porsche getting 1.3 thousand likes. A lot of people making more memes of it. Rex Blau says copy nothing except the Chrysler Crossfire, which there's hinting looks like the Jaguar. Which, hilariously enough, that in itself was a copy or branding. Is a shared powertrain and car with Daimler. The parent company was a Mercedes Daimler at the time, I believe. Get 225 likes. A lot of people making Jaguars into clown cars in this. Yeah, a lot of people are posting about the Chrysler Crossfire, which, if I won the lottery, that'd be funny. I have one of those little coupes with the stick shift. They're not like rare, like they're not worth a lot of money rare, but it's a very unique vehicle. Like, I think I've seen a Chrysler Crossfire like less than 10 times in my life. Granted, small sample size from the Midwest and South. I got 719 likes for the Chrysler Crossfire picture. Let's see here. Leftism said, are you guys going to now make some type of air conditioning company? Getting 179 likes. Jack Montgomery says, give it up, lads. Whatever ad campaign you had planned around copy paste is dead on arrival after this. Write it off and try again in 6 months. Hope people forget. Which, they have a screenshot of the non-binary looking people with the guy gal with the fro where 90 degrees is chopped out. It's almost as if the image had trouble loading in an Atari 2600. They got 496 likes. So again, we did find one positive comment here. And the rest are just viscerally trolling them. Oh, that's hilarious. Mark Anthony also says, right, Apple. Now they have the picture of the Jaguar non-binary looking individual wearing a dress, which the dress is also ugly, of course. And it says this individual is holding a sledgehammer, though they certainly look like they have the lack of muscle mass to actually do that. But then in that case, it's a yellow sledgehammer, says break molds. And it's juxtapositioned to a picture of the famous iconic Apple commercial where they throw the sledgehammer at the George Orwell 1984 talking screen, which, yeah, that's a good point. Getting 108 likes because, again, they said it's funny. Jaguar says it's gonna be unique, and it really isn't. And they say we're not copying anything, but we've seen this crap before. And again, we'll see how their sales have been declining for they had an outlier where it picked up slightly from 2022 to 2023, or they had a slight uptick, but overall it's been going down for 5 years, so they're in trouble either way. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But in this case, just all the comments, you got one good one, and everyone else is just completely roasting them. So I can't help but think, oh yeah, well, we most certainly declare, well, Jaguar, I have to say, you're rebranding the social media post, so you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.